Hi, glad you're here. This video is for all the wedding couples getting married within a year or at least planning to, and want to have an amazing wedding dance experience. For those couples with limited time, go straight to the description below and download your no bullshit guide that will help you whether you're doing your wedding dance on your own, purchasing an online course, dancing with a dance teacher, or creating a wedding dance with a pro choreographer. Today, I have a conversation with Lil, a 94-year-old great-grandma that has been to over 150 weddings. She's seen over 100 wedding dances, and this is her experience. Enjoy. Tell me something, Lil. Tell me something.
Hi, Daniel. How are you today? It's a very beautiful day outside.
It is, and we are in the dark studio and not enjoying it very much. All right. So, Lil, first of all, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Because we talk about all the time about wedding dance and you know, weddings you've been to and lots and lots of things, and you developed a very interesting opinion about wedding dance.
Yes, I have strong opinions.
Right. And this is the title of the video, right? 94-year-old great-grandma has been to over 100 weddings, and this is what she says about wedding dance, right?
Yes.
All right. So before we start, cheers. Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's really, I'm very thankful because we speak about it for years. Oh, I need to get it on camera so people know, you know, how important the wedding dance is because, yeah, as your experience says, it is fucking important, isn't it?
I believe it's important.
Right. So let's start from the very beginning, and I would like to know, what is your first ever memory about a wedding you went to?
It was very romantic. I was in a children's choir. I had nothing to do with the wedding. The bride and groom were being married during World War II, and he was off to war. So it was a quick wedding with no reception, no party afterwards.
No party, no wedding. So
But
no wedding dance. It's just, was it like during the mass?
It was during a Catholic mass.
Oh.
And it was, the bride was beautifully dressed in a white wedding gown, and the groom was in a military naval officer's uniform.
Wow.
It was lovely. And they were married, and he was off to war.
Such a beautiful first memory. Wow. How did it impact you? Did you like form some kind of romantic?
It was lovely, and I was at the age where romance was in the air, and it was lovely.
I mean, yeah, in those, wait a minute, I need to count now. Yeah, it was the 40s, right?
Yes,
So
about 43, 44.
Right. Wow. So you form kind of like this romantic, you romanticize the wedding and so on, and then...
I believe the weddings should be beautiful.
Got it. All right. Now, what is the first memory of a wedding where you saw the wedding dance for the first time?
The wedding dance I saw for the first time was a very bad disaster.
Oh my God. Okay, we go right in there. Right in there. Come on. Yeah, give it.
The bride and groom knew nothing about dancing, obviously. They played their wedding song, which I don't recall what it was. They stood there in front of hundreds of people and swayed. They did not move. They did not turn. They just stood there and swayed. It became very long, and everybody was a little tense because it made everyone nervous.
Huh. So this, like, just back and forth?
Back and forth, no turning, no...
So not even turning this way?
No turning,
nothing?
No, anything like that.
So they basically looked at each other?
They looked at each other and swayed.
Yeah, wow.
And I was starting to sway myself.
This is fantastic. Okay, guys, everybody that gets married, don't just sway around because, you know, people start to sway with you, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, before we continue, though, I forgot to ask you, how many weddings was it really? Was it just shy over 100 or was it more?
Oh, well over 150.
Ha!
I'm from a large family, and when they had a wedding, I attended.
Right. Wow. Over 150. Maybe I should change the title. No. Okay. So let's be a little bit specific, and because you said in those countless conversations we had that the first when you started to attend the weddings, there were no wedding dances or party afterwards, right? It was just a mass.
Early weddings back in the 50s, 60s were very conservative affairs where there often was no music. That was just a breakfast or something simple, and then the bride and groom were off because there was no money back in those days.
Also budget issues and
as time grew,
I mean after war or during the understandable.
As time grew, the weddings became more and more elaborate, and more and more people attended.
What would you say from the 150 or over 150 weddings were weddings with wedding dances that you experienced?
Probably not until the last 30 years, 20 or 30 years, they became part of the wedding ceremony or part of the wedding reception.
Only 30?
Or the bride and groom would have their dance, and then the father-daughter would have a dance,
right.
and the mother-son, so forth.
Got it. So how many wedding dances from those weddings did you see?
Probably about 100. It's been a long time, and I think probably at least over 100, maybe more than that.
So you saying that, the last 20, 30 years, maybe it was longer though. Was it just 30 years?
Probably the late 1900s weddings became more and more elaborate.
So what do you say, like 1980 or?
No, more like the 90s.
90s.
People seem to have more money or more desire to spend money on a beautiful reception.
So got it. I guess it makes sense because you had kids and then grandkids and then, great grandkids, and then the family grew, and the kids and grandkids from other families also grew and got married. Got it. It makes sense. That you attended in your second half of your life, you probably attended more weddings than in the first.
Right. And as I became a dancer, I became more adamant that my grandchildren, when I went to their weddings, would not embarrass me with a bad wedding dance. That they were to have a nice wedding dance.
They had a grandma that, they said, I saw many bad weddings.
It's
oh
true.
My God.
It's true.
My God.
And
so
I
you made sure
And Daniel's book was coming to the fore.
Who is Daniel?
Daniel Buhala's book was.
Who is Daniel Buhala?
Daniel Buhala is sitting before me now. And his book was becoming part of my life. And I insisted that they have the book and that they see how important a wedding dance was.
Right. Amazing. Well, thank you for the free advertisement. Thank you very much. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
I did not want them embarrassing me with a bad wedding dance.
Right.
And surprisingly, they took me at my word. And they took lessons and did as I told them to do.
They read the book. They saw how important those.
They read Daniel's book, and they.
Hello, Daniel is here. Your book. You talking to me?
Well, I forgot about Daniel. Daniel's book is Daniel's book.
Right. Oh my God.
That guy Daniel.
That guy Daniel. Okay, let's go back to the first wedding. The disastrous. Was it disastrous though?
It was disastrous. It made everybody uncomfortable at the wedding.
Yeah.
So there was a long pause while the bride and groom swayed that everybody kept thinking, are they going to move? Or are they going to just stand there?
Right. So it was kind of, okay.
Exactly.
And what was the best wedding dance you saw?
It had nothing to do with me personally. I had a dear friend who's now deceased, Bob Agee. He was a dance instructor himself, and his niece and her husband were going to be married, and they asked Bob to choreograph a wedding dance for them, and he did. And it was a magnificent dance, and I was lucky enough to see the dance.
Right.
And after the wedding, everybody said, I've never seen a dance as good as that one.
So was it like tricks and lifts and...
No, there were no lifts and drops. It was simply done. They took the floor and spontaneously did a lovely dance.
Spontaneously.
They did a
Yes.
few turns and no dips, and it was just a beautiful, simple dance.
Huh. And with the combination, I guess, with the music, it
And
left impact on
And they
you.
made a
Yeah.
lovely entry and a lovely exit together.
Right.
It made
Right.
it very nice.
Okay, so it wasn't like crazy type of thing. It
No,
was
they
very
weren't
romantic. eh?
interested in lifts and drops. and
Right.
They weren't fancy dancers, but they did a beautiful job. They rehearsed several times before the wedding,
Right.
and they did a lovely job. It was one of the most impressive weddings choreographed
Right.
that I've ever seen.
Right. So, what do you think is the ratio of terrible weddings, right, and then the most memorable and best weddings from those 100? What would you say?
I would say some of them weren't just terrible; they were just awkward
Right.
because they obviously had no idea what they were doing as
Right,
far
right,
as
right.
dancing.
Uh-huh.
But in the last few years, wedding dances, partly because of the fact that people are starting to pay attention,
Right.
have been more important. So I'd say that 30% have been much lovelier than the last 70% that I'd seen.
Got it. So as the time went on and probably the budget increased and you know it got more sophisticated in terms of planning and
Right.
you know more possibilities, they pay more attention to the wedding dance, right?
Yes.
I
And
see.
it's become more important in the wedding.
Right. I mean, it's like a business card that you opening the night basically with your dance, and people are there to see you
And it's so important
Right.
that the bride and groom look like they are enjoying themselves and
right.
dancing because they're so in love.
Right. Okay, so let's go one step further. How many wedding dances would you say were so terrible, like the worst of the worst? How many from the 100 would you say were really bad, like the first one, the awkward one that you saw? How many?
Probably 40% were embarrassments.
Shit, 40 weddings out of 100?
Where the dance would have been better to forget about it.
Wow.
But then things got a little better. People got more interested in dancing.
I'm still taking it in. Give me a second. God damn. So out of 100, about 100 weddings, 40 you didn't want to see or
They
wow.
were awkward. The people looked like they wished they weren't dancing. No,
Right.
actually they were just kind of stumbling around the floor.
Oh. Do you remember, like, out of those 40 when it was really bad, what the energy in the room was? Can you pinpoint that? I know it's a long time ago, but
Mainly people just didn't pay attention.
so they were chatting and
They just take a look and say, "Oh yeah, there it is. Nothing big."
Right.
But I think it's a big time,
right.
and people.
I mean,
should,
once in a lifetime, hopefully, right?
yes,
Hopefully once in a lifetime. Got it. So, okay. So out of those 100, 1 is the worst, 10 is the best, right? Out of the 100 weddings that were the best of the best of the best, like you said, your friend Bob choreographed the wedding.
Right.
How many out of the 100 was really memorable and really like you sat there and you go, yes, I love it?
40% were memorable.
So 40% were
Memorable.
memorable, 40% were bad, yeah, and then 20% were like normal, mediocre.
Oh well, that's the way it was.
Okay, what would you say in your opinion, okay, before we go to the nits and grits of, setup and visibility, and you told me about many times about the staff walking around, taking the food and shit like that, but before we go there, what would you say is the wedding dance within the reception structure? Like, I don't know, maybe, the decoration is important, the venue is important, all those things are important, right? The music when the bride walks in, right? If you would rate the importance, right, of the wedding dance, what place you have, let's say, 10 items, venue, blah, blah, blah,
and
decoration.
And the reception.
And the reception, right.
I would say the wedding dance would probably be in the top 10% of the importance of how nice the wedding is.
That much?
Yes, because it's the bride and groom presenting themselves.
Right. It's their time to actually...
Right. And everybody's feeling very romantic at a wedding. And the bride and groom should look beautiful and romantic.
Got it. I have a feeling that you say that because you experienced your wedding dance when you were 11, 12, and you had this, impact of romance and he going out to war, the hero journey and stuff like that. I think it impacted you.
I think when people agree to marry for life, hopefully, it should be something that's very,
special.
very important.
Right. Yeah, imagine you have those disastrous wedding dances that you talked about, and it's on video, right? VHS,
right,
at that time.
And the whole congregation, when the whole congregation
What's a congregation? You using words again that I don't understand.
The whole
English.
All the wedding guests are there,
right,
and all the guests are feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
It's not a very nice wedding dance.
Well, that's on wedding, but then imagine you watching it at home, right? And then 50 years later with the grandkids, and you're just swaying back and forwards this awkward dance, and then you look at it and it's 4 minutes or whatever.
They would say, "That's a dance, Grandma?"
Yeah, Grandma, what the fuck, Grandma? Anyway, no, this is awesome. This is like valuable information. But let's segue to those nits and grits, right? Like the setup, because many times you came when you went to a wedding and you told me, God damn it, the wedding dance was so nice, and I only seen like quarter of it or half of it because
you couldn't see it. The venue was planned poorly, and when the bride and groom did the wedding dance, they were in a situation where there were too many people looking on in front of me, for one. When my granddaughter and her husband got married, the wedding dance was in front of many people, but you couldn't see the dance.
So was it just one side of tables, and there was some kind of setup?
Exactly. And the crowd in front was so heavy that I couldn't see how they danced well.
Not probably just you, but many tables behind, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I see. So the setup of the venue is also important for the wedding dance itself.
It should be a U-shape or circular if there's enough room.
Got it.
So that the bride and groom and the whole musical dancing thing is in the front of everybody.
Right. So everybody sees, so everybody can, taste the beauty and romance of the dance. Got it. Okay, tell me about those waiters that it was so funny when you told me you were so mad. You were like, oh my God, I want to watch. And those waiters were back and forward.
So
the
busy
staff
trying to get home themselves that they were taking dishes off the table and making a lot of racket while the bride and groom were doing their wedding dance.
Because there was probably, the wedding dance was scheduled after the dinner probably, right?
Yes.
So they were,
I think the wedding dance should be scheduled to be one of the first things that occurs
as an opening for for the party, so to say, right?
I think.
Well, it's called first dance for a reason, right? Like in the party and stuff. Yeah. Got it.
And I think it should be staged so that it's one of the first things that happens before the dinner, right after the cocktail hour, and before the dinner,
right.
And
that's a transition from the ceremony
and waiting. And I think it would be a lovely time for everybody to observe the bride and groom doing their first ballroom dance.
Ballroom dance. Ooh. All right, that's fantastic. So, setup of the venue needs to be correct. Waiters, staff, no dinner, right? Or no dishes.
To remain quiet while the bride and groom are dancing.
Coached. Staff needs to be coached. Perfect. Yeah, I'm writing everything in the book. Yeah, I mean, you read it. You know what it is about. But the interesting thing is, when you read the book, and then you told me what you experienced over the years, and what I wrote, it's like 97% overlapping, right? So it really warmed my heart to actually, see that, because I coached many wedding dances, right? So, and all those things I was thinking about, right? And coach those couples. So now, did you ever see, because you said that, the wedding dance was romantic and so on. We have, now that the budgets are bigger and people actually choose to have like a fun wedding dance, or like a surprise wedding dance, or like wedding dance that, the bridal party is also involved, like the groomsmen and the bridesmaids and, stuff like that. Did you see those kind of dances? Or
Oh, absolutely, many times.
Many times. Okay.
The large weddings, the whole party dances. But I think the bride and groom should be first, and everybody else should be quiet while they have their lovely romantic
So you
wedding
prefer
dance.
the first wedding dance to be brides and grooms, experience
By
and
themselves.
by themselves.
And then let the father, daughter, the wedding party have
right.
their time.
So for the wedding dance, no surprise dance. So what do you prefer? Like, what about when the song switches to a fast pace and stuff, like, those dances that are fun,
Right.
that first start like, romantic, and then all of a sudden they go crazy. Did you see those?
The bride and groom have their own personalities,
Right.
and I think their personalities should be displayed during the wedding dance. So if they're the kind of a couple who've had a long-standing relationship with lots of parties, and they want to do a cute, fun wedding dance, that's
Right,
fine.
right.
But let them do their own personality so it shows during the wedding dance.
Own personality. That's fantastic.
Unfortunately, I'm sort of a romanticist, so I believe in a nice, beautiful, quiet wedding dance.
Quiet,
but everybody
romantic.
doesn't feel that way about it.
Right. So you mentioned father-daughter dance as well, right? So how many of those did you see? How many were impactful? How many, or what do you think in general about those additional father-daughter, mother-son dance?
I think they're very beautiful, and I think that most of the time people are very attentive to the relationship of the bride and groom to their parents.
Right.
And it almost always shows.
Right.
It's often very sentimental.
Right. So it's a beautiful addition, like a
Yes.
story arc to
Right.
kind of continue from the
Yes.
wedding, from the first dance, and mother-daughter. Got it. What about kids performing for the bride and groom? Ever happened? Not really.
I'm not big on that.
You're not big on that?
Kids can do, if people want that, that's fine. But I would never choose that at a wedding.
Because you're romantic, that's why.
That's
Right.
true.
What about a bride solo way in the party mode, when everybody is already nicely drunk, everybody's fed, right? Before the wedding cake is cut, right? The bride does a cute solo, or the groom does something with his groomsmen. Did it ever happen during the weddings when you?
Yes, some of the more ethnic dances or weddings I've been to,
Right.
or for the Polish or the
Right.
Mexicans,
Right.
they have a lovely type of celebration,
Right,
where,
right.
where they do a
So it's more traditional and,
Right.
and kind of, yeah. They choose to perform just the
Exactly.
groom, just the bride.
I love polkas.
Polkas, yes.
That's one of my favorite
Right.
kind of display. And
Okay, what about groomsmen and bridesmaids?
they could do that also if they.
Did you see it though, on the weddings?
Not particularly. No, I
Yeah.
have no special memory of any of that.
Right.
They could do what they wanted to do,
Right.
but I don't have any feeling about that.
Gotcha. So out of all those different performance styles, the romantic, the simple dance, no switch of the music, just one song that shows the love
the love
between
that's
those.
gone into this
Right.
this project, if you will.
I need to find another great grandma that is into those special wedding dances, because you're romantic. You
It's very subjective about wedding dancing.
Yes.
And I think it's nice when people dance as if their love is showing.
Right. Well, I'm the same opinion, right? Because to be honest, like all those weddings, and you have weddings, excuse me, you have weddings that have big budgets, right? And then the wedding dance just doesn't match the budget, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, I mean, not the budget itself, but like the let's say the sophistication or
the elegance of the wedding dance does not match the elegance of the formal ceremony.
Right,
and
and the setup and everything is so beautiful. It's like a king's
and then the bride
dinner.
and groom get out and sway and do an awkward sort of a dance.
Got it.
I think that spoils the situation, and I think
it just doesn't match, right?
They should pay more attention.
Right. Now, I really want to pound on that, what you just said about the personality of the or the relationship of the couple, right? Because I'm writing in the book as well that you should tell your story as a couple, what kind of relationship you have, right? When it's love, when it's, like some kind of, let's go extreme, you into gothic stuff, right? The eyeliner or whatever. Definitely you should tell the story, right? Or you into movies or something, right? I believe people should go for that, because it really shows, it tells a story, right?
Yes.
And a good choreography, as we all know, and we all seen those, theater shows and Vegas shows and all this thing, there's always a story, a emotional arc that goes throughout the whole entire show, right? And what I found that when I teach those couples, that when you have like a story arc there, right, they tend to enjoy more, and the audience tend to enjoy more, even though they don't understand that there is some kind of story, but the dance is done in a way that you feel that
demonstrates their previous life.
Right. Do you think it's important to lean into personalities and tell the story?
Absolutely, I think it's important, and I think that would make the dance even more meaningful.
Right.
If they could work that in.
If you invest so much money into venue and how beautiful it looks and all the setup and all this thing, and why not go all the way? The last 10%, meaning wedding dance 10%, right? That is kind of forgotten and
I think what goes on at the reception is as important.
And reception
wedding,
meaning the party
meaning the
part.
Party.
Yeah.
The party and the show that the bride and groom put on.
Right.
Especially or particularly the wedding dance.
Got it.
Should be something that's very memorable for everybody.
Anything else that stood out to you in the wedding dance?
Visibility of the bride and groom doing the dance, I think, is important.
So the setup, venue setup,
the venue setup,
the
is
tables,
important.
Yes,
because I remember my granddaughter's wedding, and the fact that
it sticks with you, huh?
The venue was so awkwardly set up that I missed most of her wedding dance, and I think that if you're spending that kind of money on a wedding, you should spend the money to prepare the wedding dance, so that it's memorable.
Thank you for that. You said it, not me, because I'm working all the time, right? And people, they cut the budget on the wedding dance. One of the most fucking important thing in the wedding, because everybody watches you. It's on the video. It's there forever, and you give the wedding dance the least attention, right?
That's exactly true.
And the couples always tell me, well, it's only 3-4 minutes, 2-3-4 minutes. It's not big deal.
It is a big deal. I've been to rich weddings and I've been to poor weddings, and I think the attitude of the presentation is one of the most important things. And
Presentation.
presentation of the wedding party.
Right.
If there is a party,
Right.
the party should be well planned, and it should demonstrate the love that went into the marriage.
So the party itself or the wedding dance, you mean?
The wedding dance is the most
It's part of
important
the
part of the party.
Right. Perfect. Well, cheers again. Thank you for
Cheers.
sharing that with the world and with everybody.
Thank you for the time.
You're very welcome. So guys, there you have it. Thank you very much, and I see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Now you're one step closer to have a wedding dance of your dreams. And if you still require a little bit of help, go straight to the description below and download your No Bullshit Guide.